Now, we've spoken about this term gang culture. Can you just briefly explain to the jury, when we talk about gang culture, what, if anything, are we referencing when we talk about that term gang culture?
I think of gang culture as the behaviors, the actual gangs showing their characteristics, may it be whether they're displaying their hand signs, their colors, their tattoos, and just their way of life as gang members.
Can music be a part of gang culture?
Yes.
How?
A lot of the gang members, especially here in Atlanta, uses music to express themselves. They kind of, talk about where they came from, how they came from it, things that they've done, their lifestyle in the music.
Do gang members sometimes use music to promote violence and fear of their gang?
Yes.
How?
Hypothetically, if gangs are beefing and even if they're local and they know that they listen to each other's music, they would take a shot. One gang would take a shot at another gang by saying disrespectful things or just letting them know that they are actually targeting them or talking to them through the words that they use.
Do gang members use music to promote allegiance to their gang?
They do.
How?
They brag about their gang. They glorify their gang. They glorify their gang members. They show the, like you said, alliances. It could be a blood gang that's, really, really friendly with a Crip gang here in Georgia, and they will actually shout them out in music.
Do gang members use music to send messages to rival gangs?
They do.
How?
They send messages, indirectly, maybe directly, just, they might say, I saw you at the club, or I jumped you at the club, and you are this gang, and they might call out that particular gang in the song, or they may not.
Do gang members sometimes use music to send messages to other members of the same gang?
I just want to note a waive an objection under 704B. I believe this is all a person's mental state.
All right, I don't think that anything I've heard so far is in contravention of 704B. You may have a continuing objection.
Do gang members sometimes use music to send messages to other members of the same gang?
Yes.
And do gang members use music to send messages to promote cohesiveness?
Sorry, Counsel, could you slow down reading?
So sorry. Do gang members use music to send messages to promote cohesiveness with their fellow gang members?
They do.
In your experience, what genre of music do gang members use to promote their gang?
Just from my experience, being here and working here in Atlanta for over 30 years, I've only seen the gang members use rap music.
Does it always have to be rap music?
It don't always have to be, but that's what I've seen over my career.
As a gang investigator, do you focus on music and hope that it leads to an investigation, or do you focus on the investigation and it may lead to music?
Leading and a compound question.
Sustained.
I'll ask first. As an investigator, do you focus on music?
No.
What do you focus on?
The crime at hand and the actual person that committed the crime.
And are there times in your investigation that music may have become part of your investigation?
Yes.
How is that?
Because if it's a particular person that was maybe a singer or a rapper or whatever that may have committed a crime, that us looking at the crime, me looking at the particular crime will kind of lead me back to the music portion, or if they're a rapper, or if they, like a lot of gang members here in Atlanta, they call themselves rappers, but they're like studio gangsters, or they just put music out on YouTube. So even if they're not as big as most rappers, we still pay attention to what they're saying, the drill music that's going on, and because a lot of time it does lead to violence.
And you said drill music. What is that?
Drill music is kind of something new where the rappers, they kind of talk about, they rap about violence, and they mostly target, you know, the rival or the ops in that particular music. And it's really fast and really, you know, they actually, like I said, talk about violence, talk about firearms, talking about drive-by shootings. And that's been popular here in Atlanta as of recent.
And as you're listening to the music, are you, in your mind, thinking about your investigation and whether or not there are particular words in the music that match your investigations?
It depends. Every investigation is different. So if we do listen to it just to see if we can get any kind of, I guess, maybe confessions. Sometimes it's confessions in music or any kind of thing that is said that relates back to our investigation.
Okay. Now, as an expert, I want to ask you a couple hypotheticals. If you heard a gang member sing a country song about putting 100 rounds in a Tahoe, and that song comes out a year after a rival gang member was gunned down while standing near his Chevy Tahoe, and that Tahoe was hit multiple times with bullets, would you consider that song in furtherance of the gang that gunned down that rival gang member?
That goes to an element of the offense.
Sustained.
Would that be consistent with something that's in furtherance of the gang?
Same objection.
Not if you say,
Overruled.
Like I said, each case is different, but if a country artist did do that and that country artist was a gang member, then yes, we would look at that gang member furthering the gang in that particular song.
what if a gang member had a calypso song where he said, I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mentioned me. And there was some information that members of that particular artist's gang shot at his rival gang member's mother's house. Would that be something that you would look at as being consistent with furthering the gang?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
704B, element of the offense.
I'm going to check this account on question.
Overruled.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you're listening to songs, if they come up in your investigation, will the entire song be disrespect or have words of cohesiveness, or will it be portions of the song? What has your experience been when you were listening to the music?
My experience is it's not the entire song. It might be a verse, or it might be just a line or a couple of words or a few words.